I mean, shit. When Don Tique first came across to Jersey or Jersey City, when I met him, he was signed to a label, and his father was very supportive of his career, and at the same time, when his father knew about us, my friend Juan and myself, he was supportive of our endeavors as well. So we didn't have any male role models growing up. Neither my friend Juan or myself, because we came from single parent households and was raised by our mothers, and me in my situation, grandparents. So when Don, his father, liked our shit, it actually put a spark in us, because we like, yo, like someone other than our grandparents or grandma or this, that, and the third likes our music, and it's a male role model that we could look up to. And that kind of was that was that that was something different. And Don actually was like, yo, like I want everybody to live. You wonder where I get this talk, like, yo, legend, this legend, yo, that legend. Don was the first person to be like, we all could be legends. Like, y'all all great. Y'all all kings. That's what he used to say. I was coming from a household where my grandfather, because of alcoholism and lack of having a father around, was told that I could not be much. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it was anyone's fault. It's just they didn't have that insight. But Don came to Jersey from Bushwick and on some shit like, y'all all kings. We all could get to places. We all gonna be great. And that shit just put a different like fire under me and shit like that. And Don T could elaborate on that because that's his father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my pops was in a singing group, and my way of getting my pops' attention was to kind of make music and shit. Like, yo, I could do this shit too. But so, like, when he seen that we could do it, he was full speed ahead. He was like, nah, we, you about to get a record deal. I thought Chi Ali was rapping. That was you.
Yo, I have
So,
a
'cause
question.
I did a little tape with my peoples and shit. But Pop Duke's always held everybody down. He used to promote events in the city, and then let us rock at all the events, no matter who else was performing that night, so we could get our showmanship up as far as MCs and shit.
So when did
That's
y'all?
Word up.
incredible.
Cause yo, like, okay, so when did y'all actually like individually start rapping? Like, how old were y'all when that came to be?
Say about 9, 10.
I was
Whew,
around the
early.
same.
Yo,
I
that's
was on the same age
y'all didn't
too.
know each
Yeah,
other
Around I
yeah.
back
was
then,
rhyming
right?
about gummy bears. Nah, we didn't know each other. We was growing up on two different sides of the river.
Yeah, I was rapping about Flintstones and shit in the first.
I was rapping about gummy bears. Facts.
Yo,
That's incredible.
that's
Word
so
up.
dope.
What makes you decide to start rapping? Like, I mean,
Yo, I had a whole routine with the Donald Duck voice and back in the day.
Oh, that's gangster.
Yeah, they
Oh,
used to be like,
word.
do
I
it,
could
do
never
it, do it.
change voices like that. You got that all.
that's wild. So what makes you decide to start rapping though and get into that?
I was I know I started with my best friend Juan because he lived around the corner from me. And he there was a guy named Troy down the block who was recorded music, and he was loosely associated, I think, with Nappy Assassins, which is YZ from Return of the Holy Ones, who also actually was down with Aguilar, because Aguilar used to be down with Nappy Assassins. Aguilar is known as Adolf. That's why I know Adolf since I was like 12 years old, because Adolf used to live in Jersey City. For those who don't know, Adolf is a pretty known, he's a pretty known producer, and he's a frequent um visitor of the EO Dub Zoom and shit like that. But uh, my boy Juan was like, "Yo, let's go out here and start doing music." Like they're recording at this dude's Troy spot, and I was like, "Alright," you know what I mean? But I was like, "Yo, I look mad light skinned, B, and I don't think that's really gonna rock, cause you know what I mean? I look." Even though I'm Puerto Rican and my family mix, I look white. I don't think that's really gonna be a good look. And he was like, "Yo, it ain't about your fucking color. It's about like where your heart is at." And he got me into rhyming because I wouldn't have taken it seriously because I didn't think that there could ever be an opportunity for someone like me. But he was like, nah, it's about your heart. And Juan was that kind of guy that he had an insight. Like he's the first person that liked Tupac when everybody in the East Coast was like fuck Tupac. He was like, nah, you don't know about Tupac's life, and he was the type of person that had that spirit of discernment. Like he could see through shit. That it didn't matter how you look or this that is about what's inside of the person. Like you know what I mean? Like he read through the hearts of men type shit, and that in itself gave me the inspiration and the fire to be like, yo, fuck it. Probably I could do this shit. Probably I could get good. Probably he's right. Probably it's about um what's inside as opposed to what was out. And that's I started looking at life through that. I started looking at life like let me look at what's inside of people as opposed to looking what's outside, what the superficial shit. And I could always attribute that to Juan's perspective on life, even though he's not with us anymore because he was killed in '99. But he put me up on that type of shit, and that's what made me become the person that I am, and also inspired me to become the artist that I am today.
Yeah, you're deep, CF. I like that.
Yo, man said spirit of discernment, bro. I'm like all the way jacking that. Like no qualms about it. When you hear me saying that shit at work, you know what it is. You know
Mm.
what time it is. Yep. You know what I
But
mean?
I mean, shit, like, but I know me and Teak, we got into the same shit at around the same time. So, a lot of people during our time actually that been in this, you could tell when someone's gonna stay in the game for a long time. And I could tell that Don Tique was similar to me in terms that we made from the same fabric, and that it don't matter what how the weather changes or what people's opinions are. We just keep doing. We was just gonna keep doing music because we've been doing this for so long, and we never did it for clout. We just did it because I mean Don Tique said it himself one time. He said he got into music because he wanted it. He didn't know how to pray. He thought that his prayers come through music, through writing verses to speak to God. I thought that was pretty dynamic. I was like, oh shit, because that's sometimes we don't know how to pray. Probably I'll pray to whoever the Almighty or whatever great spirit is up there comes through these verses. So that's why we don't stop. Does somebody stop praying and shit to God? Nah. So we don't stop rapping because our raps are basically us praying. You know what I mean? Us trying to get to that level and shit.
Yo,
But T could
if
elaborate
this
on the
was
shit
I
his
would
does.
love
if
to
this
hear
was
that
if this,
elaboration.
word, if this was Funkmaster Flex's show, there'd be wild bombs being dropped right now.
Yeah, but
Yo,
T could
that's wild,
elaborate on
man.
that because
Yeah, no,
he'll
please,
tell you about
please.
the what up.
What happened?
We waiting on you, T.
It was yo. You remember
Can you
mad long
repeat the
ago when you
question?
said? Remember he said. Remember mad long ago when you was like you was like the way how you started rapping was because you was trying to talk to God because you don't really pray, so you pray with
Nah,
your verses.
I pray, but I think I think the I gotta I gotta I don't know. I think the when I write the word, it hits way better because I talk to him a lot. I give thanks to him a lot. I give thanks to my ancestors a lot. So I think that's way better than me just throwing some whatever in the sky as far as like. And I pray before we perform every time too. But I think the verses do me a lot more justice. That's all that is.
And their question was like, what got you in a rhyming into taking it seriously? What made you take this rhyming thing seriously?
Because dude said I had to be better than Rakim. I came on my block rapping, and they was like,
That's
"Yeah,
deep.
but you ain't better than Rakim." So
Yo.
my whole life I've been trying to be better than Rakim. So my OGs on my block will look at me with some respect. Word of mother. That shit
Yo,
happened
that's
long ago,
crazy.
but that was my goal. And I'm a little kid. I was talking like what 10, 11. They talking about, but you ain't better than Rakim. I'm like, all right, cool, watch. So I've been chasing that. I've been chasing that. But I turned it into me being the best me rather than me trying to be better than Rakim because there's only one Rakim.
That's deep.
Facts.
Rakim
Yo,
is a
that's
beast too.
that though is like there are certain like um you're such a great articulator. CF, you'll probably find a better word, right? But like, there's so many like kind of like points that like everybody hits on in this interview that we've been doing in this series, and like many people, like Dalma said the same thing. She said that like she went back to her block and somebody on the block was like, "You ain't better than Big L though." You know what I mean? Which is like so typical for where we come from and how it is when we're growing up. That like people like there's always somebody somewhere that's gonna be like, "Yeah, but you ain't better than such and such." And
It
it's
gives you
like
something to reach for. It gives you something to reach
No,
for.
it
Even
is.
if
I'ma
you
just
don't-
say
it
that-
does if
that's-
you don't reach it.
That's definitely around the world though, because I heard that too.
Yeah, I mean the one thing I do know about being from the East Coast or being in New York or New York area and shit like that is that people don't give a fuck if you nice. You could be nice as hell. Somebody be like, "That's what's up. That's alright," and then you be like, "What? I just did all of this fucking work, bro. I did all of this shit." They be like, "Yo, who gives a fuck?" And that's all they gonna say. And you be like, "But what's the explanation behind that?" Ain't no explanation. I just don't. You alright? That's it. I know it happens every place else in the world. It's just the way our East Coast people say it. They be like, "Go and get your fucking shine box," and you be like, "What the fuck, B? I just did all this shit. I done battle mad people. You see me do my numbers up and down." Be like, "That's what's up, but you ain't no star though." And that's just the way how that's just East Coast shit. East Coast shit is always go through some vetting shit, cause there's just auto haters, haters on autopilot all the time.
Fact.
And people were just doing that because they just trying to bust your chops. They trying to out here is about to get under your skin. The people just fuck with you just to fuck with you. That's just the personality out here. You could wake up and people be like, if you from a different part of town and you come here, people be like, "Oh, he think you all that because he from Brooklyn." Fuck Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? People say that.
Yeah.
Or people.
The other day I was out to dinner and an old man started having a heart attack or something. I don't know. He passed out but our waitress was in the middle like serving us our food, and like the homies was like that, like, "Yo, but where my food though?" Like nobody cares about
Nobody
the
get
dying man. Like it was like, "Yo, where is my food? Like what is the issue right now?" And I'm like, I think the issue might be the like old man that's dying at the doorway to us, guys. Like
and
I was like,
that's,
we all had like half of our shit, right? So like I had my rice and beans, but I didn't have my carne guisada, my stew, my beef stew. The wife, she had her pork chops, but she didn't have no rice and beans. The homie had her fish, but she didn't have no rice and beans. And then the other homie had her rice and beans, but she didn't have a beef stew. And so I was just like, look, I mean, we all got something in front of us. We could just start eating this until the rest comes out. They were like, "Nah, yo, where's my food?" And I'm like, bro, like the dude is dying. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, and it's wild true, like what you say. Like
that's New York.
Somebody get duffed in their face.
Food, bro.
Yo.
But it be like that. Like,
I was in between. Like I didn't like I was like slightly understanding of the situation, but seeing my friends while out, I was very proud of them. Like I was like, man, I'm proud. You guys are
real,
New Yorkers.
For the record, this is a real Facebook post with a video. Like, he videotaped this shit.
I remember one time we in Switzerland, I see Nas and shit. And you know, Nas is is the homie, right? I think for me, he top God MC. He's up there, up top tier. You already. And I just nodded like, "That's what's up. Like, what's good?" And Tech was like, "That's what I like about y'all. Like, y'all don't jump on nobody's dick, cause other people be on tour, be like, yo, trying to get like." And I never. To me, it's like, I think like he ain't better than This is the autopilot mindset about someone that's out here. That's not he. Alright, fuck out of here. He ain't better than me. That's just the way how people think out here, yo. It's just like
East Coast gift and the curse.
It's just like, and that shit blocks you from mad shit, cause you already everybody looking at you like you a wild dick. You don't mean to be it, but something about you comes out and be like, "Yeah, he could do that, but I could do better. Fuck out of here." And it's just It just part of the. So that I knew when I grew up, people would be like, "Oh yeah, I heard you rhyme. Yeah, you alright." You know, people tell you that, and that's just. But it makes you want to go and step your game up though. That's why the competition level is so high up here, cause you got so many people that you got a chip on your shoulder and you got to prove to, and they know you dope. They just don't give a fuck, cause to them we got so much data out here. It doesn't matter. People will get easily distracted and shit like that. So you gotta really be rocky. I remember one time I was in San Antonio, Texas, and I said Austin by mistake, and I was getting booed and shit, and I was like, y'all can suck my dick. I'm a overcome this shit. Fuck out of here. And yo, they gave me wild dap, and I got to rock and finish my performance. And the girl
They
that came
respected
on
you
after
from
me,
that.
she got booed and shit, and she started crying, and I was like, I don't know why the fuck you crying. At least you ain't get booed in New York. Like if you go to New York and you rock somewhere, and no one says anything back, consider that a good day. Consider that a good crowd.
Word.
Cause
New
sometimes
York will boo
motherfuckers
you
will just
fast as
listen to
fuck.
you and they be like, "That's what's up." But if you could overwhelm the crowd and do your numbers out in the city, then you know what I'm saying. Then you're doing some levels, and it don't matter where you go at in the world. Once you already rocked in New York, everywhere else is like whatever. This is a cakewalk. And that's why even when I got booed, the motherfuckers was amazed that I just kept doing shit. Cause I'm like, this shit is light. Cause you ain't grow up the way we had to grow up here with people telling you you ain't shit. And you had to earn that. You had to earn your skill set. After the 20th time there's people saying you aight when you know you're not. So it is what it is. I mean, like T said, it's a gift and a curse, but at the same time it allows you to develop tough skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And get
big
up there and
facts.
shit like that.
Big
And
facts.
that's what gave BMR this longevity, is that East Coast toughness, that resilience to be like, all right, that's what's up. And you know what I mean? Like you could see the towers drop, and I still gotta go to work. I still
Yeah,
gotta pay these
yo.
bills. Fuck is
I
wrong with you?
after I had a friend. I had a friend who worked like next door. He worked at Century 21, which like for anybody who's from New York City knows that it's like right
That shit
across the
right
street from the
there.
Twin
Yeah.
Towers, right? So like I was worried as soon as they like I see it on the news, and I walk all the way to his crib. And then when I see that he's there because he took the day off of work because he's a teenager who really just like would call out of work randomly, right? I was like, oh, it's lit. Like, let's go downtown. Let's go get some pussy and shit. Like, no, I didn't care about
That's
the whole 2 buildings that dropped and all those people that died. I was just like, yo, my homie ain't died. It's lit. Let's go get some pussy.
yo, wild
Yo,
right? Like we wild
yo,
desensitized and shit.
my uncle called out that day. He did the most ghetto shit. He called out. It was the ghetto clairvoyance. He called out the data shit. I was
Ghetto
like, yo,
clairvoyance.
word
Word.
up. I was like, you did some real ghetto shit and lived. You amazing.
I remember me and Teak actually got up that day. It's told you an events that we seen throughout our lives together, and we was both like, "Yo, this is some wild shit," because we both worked in the same for the same company. Like I got him a job where I was working at this investor relations firm, because this white dude from I guess he moved into the hood and he was hiring people and they wanted to sponsor them to get Series 7. Like he saw that there was some talent, you know, with some of us. So he got hired. It was an ill ass story, just taking people from the streets and shit. But we was out there now, you know, right there. We right next to the Twin Towers across the water, and you know, you see them shits on fire and shit like that. And me and Teak was bugging. It shows you like the images that we have together, which makes the such a dynamic duo when we on record, because we seen things together at pivotal historical moments and shit. But getting back to that, when you see something like that, you see buildings drop, and you see the people always busting your chops, it gives you a sense of, it desensitizes you, but it also gives you a different type of empathy that other people don't have, because you experiencing shit from a whole different scale. And then on top of that, it also gives you that resilience to be like, yo, you know what, it don't matter. Just like the towers dropped and through the ashes they rose and brought about the freedom tower, the same way that our music is going to continue to keep rocking regardless of what kind of obstacle there is, because of where we from, just because of the nature of the people where we from. It just doesn't stop. Buildings don't stop, B. I don't know what's going on around the world, but during the pandemic, motherfucking buildings
Wild
are still
builders went
being
up.
built.
Wild
Construction workers
builders.
still
Yeah, I
working.
kept on